this platform to introduce myself, and beyond introducing myself, to also introduce or present to the people someone that I respect so much. So I am Peter Oshaghire. Currently, I'm the Director of Research. I work with NY Polls, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala Polls, and I'm also the MNH lead. Through my work, before now I worked with Palladium Group, and I met a lot of people, and someone stands out. And out of that, I see someone that has a solution beyond where he is, a solution for the people. And we have been having a discussion over a long time, and I was so excited to see that he has come out to say he's bringing the solution for the people of Isoko North. I've been with him there to Isoko North severally, not just once, not twice. And we have gone through the landscape. We've been to Yuri, we've been to Ole, we've been to Gide, and we've seen the place. And he tells me passionately, I am sent to these people to make a difference. And I don't know what you call a difference, but the difference is solution to the problem you have in your mind as a people of Isoko. If you go there, you will see that there is a gap between leadership and the people. He's there to bridge that gap and to bring what the people desire to them. And I can present to you with absolute confidence Dr. Austen Okumo, who is a man of his word. He's not a man of plenty words, but he says it as he sees it. And he has the solution to make your constituency a better place. Let him be your representative. Let him be your voice. He has a very strong voice. So if he's your voice, I'm sure whatever you are saying will be echoed and amplified. And I'm very sure that the people of Isoko are in for a great change. Congratulations to the people of Isoko that this man has finally come out and has listened to your call, and he's now saying, I present myself to you again. Stand by him and give him your mandate. All the delegates and everyone that is involved in this process, you know him. He was there and he has spoken, and he's still saying the same thing. I have the solution. Give him a try. Naira no get tribe. Just give him a try, and I'm sure you will see a difference. I hereby today endorse the mandate to be given to Dr. Austen Ogenekaro. Thank you very much.
Election don't come. Make me join hands for better leaders. Leaders we do favors. We go bring better for so that people can enjoy.
I'm Honorable Dr. Ogenekaro Austen Okumo from Aushagire of Isoko South local government area of Delta State, Nigeria. Basically, what inspired me is a call for service. I am called and obliged to serve my people, to play a role and a function in deciding how the affairs of the governance of my people is being run. So basically, I am vying for the position of the federal representative of my constituency, okay, representing the good people of Isoko Nation. Okay, I'm inspired to run for this because the role and responsibility of the House of Rep member is to propose, vote, and enact policies that determine the runnings and the functionality of my government and governing my people. Up to now, what our representatives have not proven this very right, and there is time to correct what all the inefficiencies that have populated the political terrain. So I am motivated to run, not just by myself, but a clarion call of my people that you are fit to serve, and I am offering myself to serve at the capacity of the House of Representatives, member of the House, to serve my people. And this is one position that matters so much in determining the position of your people, what they can receive from the federal government. So it is a position meant for people who can represent, who can talk, who know policies, who can read, who has the experience home and abroad, who can argue out cases, and not just people who sit and warm chairs and say we are representing them, only representing their own selfish interest. Change is the only permanent thing they say. One person cannot bring change, but one person can propagate and initiate the cause of change. I will bring change to my people by constantly dialoguing and meeting, discussing, interacting, finding out what exactly is the need, what are the gaps. So I will do a need analysis of my people, not just giving them what they want or what I want, but giving them what they want by sitting down closely with them, listening and harvesting the needs and putting them together as a budget and a plan that will be presented in the floor of the House. So invariably, I'm going to work with my people to achieve the aim and the needs and the purposes of my people. Well, I would say every human being is a political animal, whether you like it or not. Okay? But basically, I was given birth to by a father, Ezekiel Okumo, aka Bosiobo, who was a politician. He was a politician to the point that at 1992 he lost his mandate as an NRC member, and because he lost, that sent fear to us. But we all quitted the election as children. But my ambition to become, and this renewed ambition came out when I was in Germany in 2008, when I had a very clear discussion and as a vision with the political leader who won mysteriously in America, the person of President Obama, who said, "Can you lead your people?" And I said, "Yes, you can," talking about human and divine intervention. So I came back to Nigeria. I said, 2015, I had that dream again. And he said, "Okay, you can do it." Yes, I will do it. So in 2018, we flagged off. In 2019, we went into the primaries with Honorable Leo Ogo, and who's been in the seat for about 18 years, 16 years at that time. Then with Sao Tiwa Ayodele, and he got it normally, and we all gave him space to rule us for the past 4 years. Then this year again, I'm motivated by the call of my people to come over here. So to summarize, I have this ambition right from the day I was born, because I was born by a political father who spent his life nurturing the people today they call themselves politicians. So I was a political by birth, and it's time for me to serve my people. Basically, political godfatherism is one of the key things that matters. The leadership of the party, PDP, which I belong, let me speak to the leadership first of all. I want to say thank you to the leadership of PDP, from the national to the states, that are serving at various and different levels today. Without their service, the party wouldn't have had a stand as it is. I want to say thank you to my governor, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, who has served assiduously, worked assiduously to ensure that the party stands. I want to say thank you to all the leaders, even to my leader who is representing me at the House of Rep right now, Honorable Leo Ogokwe, for all of their work. I want to say thank you to all of the LGA chairmen, both Isoko South and Isoko North, and all the serving principal members of all the 24 wards that represent Isoko Federal Constituency. However, to be more direct, political godfatherism or political godfather is the structures which I have mentioned, right from Okowa to all of the principal that are my political father. That I have a political godfather is tantamount to divisiveness. Godfatherism has been the bane of our failures and projecting incapable persons to the office. So, to answer you, the leadership of PDP, all of them as they are, male and female, they represent my political godfathers and godmothers. So, Isoko as head was one and has always been one. Although by delineation and resource control, it's been delineated into Isoko South and Isoko North. I, for one, have not seen that divide to mean anything. It's just a political divide that continues to water down our power to develop, our power to grow. However, they said there is power in division. There is unity and strength in division, which I think I am standing by right now. Politically, Isoko has always had one voice. However, politics is an ideology. As people, good and loving people of Isoko, having an ideology, if you are in PDP or in APC or in SDP or so whatever party you are, that does not stop you from being an Isoko person. I'm saying this clearly here so people should know the position that I take regarding what has happened so far in Isoko politics. Listen, you couldn't have been in a place when it comes to politics, then you begin to say, oh, I am from Isoko South, I am from Isoko North, my mother was born in Isoko South. And no, that's all political propagandas. What matters here is that who will be the person who can deliver Isoko, who can bring the resources back to Isoko for Isoko development, who can populate equity and equality among the polity of Isoko in Delta State and around Nigeria as a whole. Politics is always a pot, okay? And a pot is no longer one person feeding it. First and foremost, the House of Representatives was the first person who ascended the throne as the House of Representatives was Honorable Ifekoja, okay, from Enwe. Now, this guy, after one tenure, he was Isoko South. After one tenure, they had a meeting, and the likes of my serving honorable member of Rep, Honorable Leo Gokua, said, if you know more, or more for a meaning the breast of a mother is not meant for one person. So consider Isoko Nation as a mother. Isoko South has sucked. Now is the turn of Isoko North. So Isoko North was given on fair ground and equity. Isoko North started sucking. 4 years they sucked. 8 years they sucked. 12 years they are sucking. 20 years, 16 years they are still sucking. They never suck and get fed. What is the problem? Then 20 years they are still sucking. So it is not about the zoning. It is about what has these 20 years of sucking produced in Isoko. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. This is a game of development. It's not a game of self-aggrandizement. It's not a game of self-enrichment. It's a game of helping people to grow from where they are to where they should be. Point out to what single developmental project that these 20 years of sucking has brought to Isoko. It's always going to be the same pothole, getting wider by the day. It's always going to be some leaders getting rich by the day, and the masses. So believe you me, the leadership and the management of Isoko politics has been clearly hijacked, and this has led to the impoverishment of Isoko land, and it must change, and I am ready to make a change by serving my people. It is left for the masses to actually say what their benefits are. Maybe some have Okadas, they have been riding it, and they had injuries sustained from these Okadas, and then healing them or treating them has been issues again. Okay? Maybe also some benefited from grinding machine and the scent of dry pepper has inflicted environmental problems. So people who have asthma and all of that, and they have compounded issues of health. Maybe some have benefited from cash incentive, which cannot be traced or anything, because I don't imagine a leader putting people on salary when these monies could have been used for cottage industry where people should be working and earning a living. Okay? Maybe some people benefited by stealing from the people who have stolen this money, and they have come again to say they are our leaders. But I don't really know. But for me, as an Isoko man, the environment always reflects the benefits that accrue to people. It's not about the gigantic homes and houses. The environment, is it an environment that we liked? Our roads, are they good? It might not just be the total function of a House of Rep member to give roads, but the collaborative effort of and the push of the House of Rep member, working with NDDC, working with the Sobadet, working with all the parastatals that matters, helps to bring the goodies to our people. I see government beyond one man singing praise. I see government beyond two men singing praise. I see government in the likes of everyone getting what better off rather than worse off. Today, I tell you, and I can categorically say, Isoko have not benefited from the leader. And if they have, let the person come and challenge me. So basically, I think on that part, we are lucky. 2 local governments makes up the Isoko Federal Constituency, the Isoko South and the Isoko North. Okay. Isoko South has 11 wards, and Isoko North has 13 wards. So, by advantage of delineation, the Isoko North always will have an advantage over the Isoko South in terms of winning the seat, Federal House of Representatives. You can see today from the federal, the National Working Committee has set up a committee of handful and think tank in the PDP to move around for a consensus candidate. So therefore, zoning has its own place, but anytime you want to talk about zoning, first of all, you must have to ask, why zoning? It is zoning because of imbalance in terms of representation. It is zoning because of our human ideology. If not, politics and democracy, which is the government of the people, for the people, and by the people, should have been a free and fair in such a way that the best emerges as the candidate who represents the party. In Isoko, like every other place, this has not been, and I pray moving forward it will be. Listen to, in the year Isoko South and Isoko North, like I said previously in this interview, Isoko South came in first of all and sat on the House. And after 4 years, Isoko North came and agitated for their right. So on the probability of zoning, one would have assumed that the next 4 years will go to what? Isoko North, Isoko South. But like I told you now, for the past 18 years right now, going to 19, Isoko South, Isoko North has been on the seat. Therefore, is the winner takes it all. Zoning has not taken effect. So if we are talking about Isoko South, Isoko North relinquishing power to Isoko North today, it is not zoning. It is a matter of a clarion call and agitation. So whatever we call zoning has not happened in that office called the Federal House of Representatives. If it has happened, it wouldn't have been like this. We wouldn't have had this imbalance. We wouldn't have had this unfairness in terms of governance at the federal level, most especially the only one seat which can resonate with Isoko people, which is the Federal House of Representatives. So let me say this. We've not really practiced zoning. It hasn't worked. Maybe as from now, we will set a precedent that as from now on, let it start working. And I'll be the most happiest person if it works. You know, power intoxicates, they say. Absolute power intoxicates absolutely. And I think they have had it to a point where power has intoxicated them so much that they've forgotten the masses. I couldn't have imagined where someone has sent power by please give me power. And in the next 4 years, you that had no money, you that have no resources to take care of nobody, you become so rich and wealthy, and now you say you are Lord. You cannot be Lord. You cannot be Lord. Only God is the Lord, and He determines power. He is the one who gives power. To say less development is an understatement. There is no development at all. I say this again, there is no development at all. Look at me today, as old as I am. The road between Ebo Guest House or Yanga Market to Igeze Junction has been so for more than 47 years of my existence. If there was development, then it would have been holistic. Selected development is not development. That I support government, the road leading to my house will be tied. That I support government, the road leading to my father's house will be tied. That I support government, the community, my school community will be fenced. For instance, I am from Adairi. There is no political presence of one single project since the inception of politics, 1999. The daughter of the soil of the person of Senator Stella Omu was a senator from Ada, but married out to General Omu in Igbide. She built one water, dig one borehole, moribund. One health center, moribund. Till today, Ada had a primary school built where I graduated from, open, bare, no fence. Ada built a secondary school for themselves, hire teacher paying for themselves. I'm talking to you about my community now. Ada had no street lights. Every other villager. And Ada is a hub. And they passed there. What did they tell you? Ada does not count. Why? So if there were development, we would have said development should be all around. Again, my old friend and leader came up, Duncan himself, came up with Umenid Road, which is trending everywhere. His own clamor was what made Ume to have road. If it was a seamless development, must I shout before I am recognized? Must I shout before development come to my place? No. Development must be from the people. What do you need? How do you need it? Where do you need it? In this way, we can consolidate the different needs of the community, aggregate it, and put it as a master plan that will be running. So there is no development till today because the people are not working holistically. They are not working in tandem. There must be a need for Isoko to work together to make the development of Isoko one. Because Isoko, we are one. One we will be. One we will remain. In Jesus' name. How will I bring development? Which is the second side of the story. I know as an economist, demand, supply is equals to demand at an equilibrium price. The equilibrium price is all of us sitting down together to determine exactly what we need. And as a project manager, we know that prior preparation prevents poor performance. So if we plan, and in management, we say, as a maxim, that he who fails to plan plans to fail. So basically, I will engage all stakeholders of Isoko, the leaders, the ordinary person, the youths, the women, to ensure that we have a plan called Isoko Development Plan. As of today, you can't hold no office holder responsible because there is no plan. And again, because there is no plan, there is nothing to benchmark his achievement against. But I say to you, there are nice homes and houses in Isoko built by politicians. If you call that development, I agree with you. Isoko is really developing. But in real sense, the general, the average, on the average, they have nothing to tell about, because development spans from non-physical assets, it comes from moral values as well. The decadence of the moral value to today, as copied from our political leaders, that money is the basis of life. Federal House of Representatives is the lower chamber of the bicameral legislature that we currently operate on. Okay? So is the lower house. The upper house, that's the green chamber. The upper house, the red chamber, that's the Senate. What they do in the House of Rep is to enact laws and policies. Okay, so what will I be doing? For my people, voice to be heard and to be able to represent the interests of my people. As a House of Rep member, I am constrained, I am mandated for my good people, if elected, to vote, first of all, to propose, vote, and to enact policies and laws that can help the government to determine what is good for my people. So it's not a bench warming I position. It's a position that is meant for people who can sit down and read, who can make research across the globe. It's not a position that essays and PAs be telling you exactly what you should say. It's a position that you must have something in your mind to want to offer, and then join forces with all of the suggestions to make it whole. Like I told you, no one person ever sends himself or gives himself a mandate. You must align with your people from the grassroots to understand their needs. Those needs are aggregated. And once I aggregate those needs, you bring them to the lower chamber, the House of Rep, and then propose a bill. Once that bill is proposed, it goes through the normal reading, the order of the House, and then is being looked upon by every member according to the merit of the bill and how it affects not only the people of Isoko, for example, the people of all walks of life in Nigeria, in all of the 774 local governments. How does this bill affect? But in particular, somebody must propose it, and you need some level of IQ to refine bills that are going to be acceptable. I'm going to work with my people to consolidate and to bring about a plan that will be presented at the floor of the National Assembly, and then with their own support at the public hearing, we'll be able to move this to bills that will serve our people and also in Nigeria. Primary elections really are structured by our party is a primary election. It's a delegate election. So by that means, some structure has selected members, so to say, that are governing the different arms which we refer to as ward. So it comes out from the LGA, the wards, okay, and the different units. So delegates are selected from the LGA, the ward, past serving senators, councillors, serving some ad hoc delegates. All of these delegates were selected to represent the interests of Isoko Nation. For example, if primary election in PDP, we have 300 delegates so far, for example. Could be less, could be more. And the population of Isoko, for example, is also 1 million plus. Statistically, does 300 persons represent the interest of 1.5 million? No. Okay, now, suppose we say yes. That means that these people should be operating on utmost good faith, with loyalty to no candidate, with loyalty to no super party structure. But what do we see today? Delegates have now positioned themselves as a stock in trade. You see aspirants saying, I will give every delegate 2 million. And the entire Isoko people are listening to this. The entire people are listening to each and every delegate, each and every candidate coming forward to say, to make an offer. Believe you me, if I was a delegate, I would have been happier for it. But if I think in the long run, what I stand to lose as the entire nation, what posterity I'm going to bet, I will be so sad when somebody offer me 1 billion, for example, just to give a vote. Now, do you know the implication? The implication is this. If I give 1 billion naira to delegates to win a primary election, and I spend another 3 billion to win a general election, what means that I have totally bought off whatever their benefit would be. They have no right to come to me to say, where is the returns that are coming from the position we send you? If only you are having some level of integrity, you can say, we have sold it out. We have nothing in the house of David to your tent, O Israel. That is the reason why consistently and continuously Isoko has been underdeveloped. It's nothing. It's just because constantly delegates sells out. My appeal this time around is that let's look at it again together. I appeal to delegates that let God touch their hearts, that they should reason. If I want to lead you, you send me. When God said, who will I send? Isaiah said, here I am, send me. If Isoko said, who will I send? Austen Okumo said, here I am, send me. Then somebody comes and agitates. Oh no, I must be the person to go. I give you S amount of naira to go. Common sense says that he has taken your power. You have sold your birthright. Esau said, I am hungry. I don't care about birthright. Give it to me, that plate of porridge. And then quickly, Jacob prepared the porridge and served him and said, take my birthright. Delegates, please, let us not sell our birthright for a plate of porridge. The same person who you are selling to, you will not be able to have mouth to ask tomorrow. We are not in a chaotic and anachronistic society. We are a reasonable folks. Isoko people are loving people. I appeal to all of the delegates to be mindful, because future will judge, posterity will judge. I beg you in the name of God that delegates, you people should be reasonable this time around. Vote for Okumo, who is able to serve and who is reachable, accessible, transparent, accountable. And God will help Isoko to develop. Isoko Wado. Isoko Wado. Well, the question you ask is not political. It has a political undertone, but it's historical. I am not a doctor of history. I'm not a student of history. However, I know a little bit. From what you just said, you refer to us as Isoko Nation with 19 clans. Now listen, leadership, migration, and settlement are the things that inform rulership. Basically, migration. Okay? And we say that Okpakwewo or Diewo, Okpakwewo or Diewo, Okpakwewo Toro or Diewo. Isoko is not comparing themselves with others. Anu Ojoiri, Yovieri, Ojole, Yoviole. So, having them first class or second class, we all recognize them as our traditional leaders who works together to bring peace, and they are custodians of tradition, and we respect them so, and we are happy. We have not seen them as rivalries. We've seen them as pairs working together. And but one of the things is that these people are subject to government because they are sustained budget-wise majorly by the government. So I am saying to you, to the much I know, leadership is traditional, is historical, and they are instituted for our own good. And we like them, and we worship them, and I send message of greetings to them. Esemado, Iviemado, Edionado, Oshaghire. Merigwe. Yes, so basically, it's a painful thing to lose. Let me start from there. And once you have an ideology and you are working in tandem with your ideology, it's no longer loss because it is a loss for a party victory. I am a member of PDP, and I am saying to you, my loss is a victory of the party because everything is working together for our own good. I remember on the day of the primaries when I lost out and we declare Honorable Leo Ogokue as the winner, we raised his hand up, and with that endorsement, he won APC on the ground of he was endorsed by all contestants and the party at the Federal High Court Benin. That was what he used to demonstrate. Yes, we all know. But you see, I am here today telling you I'm contesting again because once you have a vision, you write it down, run with it. Although it will tarry, the vision will speak at the end of the day. Has the party treated you well as someone who has helped to fund the party, who has helped to be promoting the mandate of this party across the globe? The simple answer is no. How has it not been known? From my own kingsmen, my own folks, the door has been shut. What made them shut the door? I don't know. He said, Okumo, we have penciled you down for commissioner. I never see commissioner. We have called you for a party meeting. He said, who are you? You just contested. Are you a party member? All of these things are painful. But will I stop? No. Why? Because I'm not a political gangster. I have a root in politics. Some people who are politicians today, their father never knew nothing but politics. He know nothing. But in my father's house, bet every form of settlement, politically and otherwise, that happens in Isoko South. So I knew what politics was. And then now, they say to me, Okumo, the reason why you are not being called because you are not at home. If all of the knowledge at home is what we use to govern, then today we will have no knowledge of outside. Grassroots knows me. Awoe wo merio me, mereji soko, mo wisoko, isoko vovo mereje ha orie. So what ta men awo merio me ha mere dikie mere rio weni ko no ve we no na. Keva gbero rio me ha. Isoko meje mwekieto, isoka yo mefio, isoko meje ro, isoko meje biskulu. Eba no more buka na ere menya. Awo bobu na ro politics nene na. Akruri obonu kaneze. Atefia ekwa. Udizieze utoro kumo. Anijo were mo se ri obewo. Ku meri obewo te. Megberi obewo akeve me ro yawo na. Eva wo na ro ri ome. Ojo no mere de kono ko amono tuberi owe visoko. Emeweru no visoko, meten na visoko no, te meet a care of el bako. Wagbako me akeve mero weke. Ono fevi politics nene, ono fevo to isoko nene, no di politics no favori. Ko fevio me. No reme o maya, ne mi o leme bele. No, otoro ne tuna fome. Wakwe o me mesavori, ogbe fome ha. Meje jakoto meri o wivo. Ose meje fome no. Me o gbogbo si ogbo meje rumu obo mo iro funa me fo wiro me omo gbogbo si ogbo meje rumu obo mo Oshaghire oi we don't fight. Seasoned politicians don't fight. Neither do we divide to rule. One of the cardinal points is for you to understand that if it is a government of the people by the people for the people, let he who the cap fits win. We are now talking about leadership of Delta State. It's in the hands of PDP and will not move. So if a ruling party at the national comes to impose itself, we will say no. Because like I said, Isoko we are one. One we will be. One we shall remain. There is no political divide. They have schemed, they have kind of do all of those kind of schemas to try to take Delta State. It doesn't work. It will never work. Because there is an ideology that has helped us to get to where we are now. All we need to do is to bring more equity and sanitize the system. Okay? So I appeal to Governor Okowa to continue to do his own good work to ensure that the party is intact. And what does he need to do? Listen more, talk less, and let the people come with their own superior view, aligning with the vision he has for Delta State. He has done a good job for the past 8 years. And then, only remaining few months will not make him to be a loser. I stand by Okowa. I stand by Delta State. I stand by PDP. I stand by the leadership of Isoko. And one more thing that I need to say this. There are 8 candidates contesting for the House of Rep in Isoko alone. PDP. 8. All of us are qualified. Really. But there are some that are most qualified by antecedents. There are some that are most qualified by actions. There are some that are most qualified by virtue of the office that they are vying for. If we consider all of us to drive unity home, I employ the services. I create the indulgence of Isoko Development Union, the socio-cultural arm of leadership of Isoko, to intervene now. If not, Isoko will be sold for peanuts. And if Isoko is sold, let us not expect development in the next 4 years and probably 8 years. Because they will tell you, oh, 1 tenure is not enough to consolidate. Anybody who has a plan does not need 4 years to bet the flag. It's because we fail to plan, trying to win votes. That is why we go back to the house and say, I need time to think about what we do. No. If there's a development plan, it's plug and play. Because the budget starts from year 1. Isoko Development Union, SME, Binime, me boso wai vokenana, igwe meroto, me bello wai no, wa dunu hemena, wa gbe dunu heme ko wa zisokono, iwate zisokono, ro wa uzo, Oshaghire.